Welcome to the CFG Gamecast, a weekly podcast created by streamers and gamers alike to discuss the latest gaming topics from the previous week. We stream a new episode every week and release it on all podcasting services, so do us a favor and show us some love by liking, following, subscribing, reviewing on our Twitch page or YouTube page, or go to our main website, confreaksandgeeks.com, to not miss an episode. I am hosting today. I'm not Davis Green, but I am Smitty2447, and of course, with me as always, my friend, my co-host, Pop No Tarts. Pop, how was your week? How have you been?
Been a good week. I can't complain. Semester's wrapping up. As I mentioned to you earlier, I got to play in the Grand Blue Relink closed beta they had for Endless Ragnarok. That was a ton of fun. Been logging in to games for different updates and things. Warriors Abyss had another update. Crossworlds is adding Mega Man, so we have a festival coming up. And then Shinobi, the Villains update is coming out beginning of April. So lots of things to go through. I think the Marvel Maximum Collection is coming out this Friday. And then the He-Man beat 'em up next month. It's just a lot. But I'm also excited because as the semester winds down, it means more time for me and it's more time to game if I'm not outside. And I probably won't be if it's too hot. I will be indoors.
Yeah, and I don't blame you one bit. Nothing like summer inside, playing some games, catching up on stuff that you haven't been able to play. So there's a lot coming out. There's a lot that has come out as well. I know we talked briefly about it beforehand, but Crimson Desert, huge MMO RPG. That's the makers of what would they make? Do you remember?
I am. Yeah. I've seen all of the cat videos. In fact, my current Discord status actually says your actions are appreciated because apparently if you give a cat something in the game, that's what it says, and your trust goes up by like +5 in Crimson Desert. It was the funniest thing.
That's crazy.
It was the funniest in-game screenshot I had ever seen. I'm like, I love this. Probably won't play the game, but loved it. Like it looks fun. I don't know. I won't say won't play it because something might catch my eye with it. I don't know.
And they're good because they did Black Desert Online before, I think,
yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
I'm pretty sure I met the CEO at least at the time. I was at an event for creators out here in Vegas during I want to say TwitchCon when it was out here, and it's a story where my buddy he like does pizza and like twirls pizza and stuff, and like he was trying to like toss it to me and it like flung off my finger and knocked the beer over, and she came over and like the other thing. It was hilarious. But they are really good with MMOs. I've heard nothing but good things about Black Desert Online, so I'm excited people are enjoying that as well. So good. I'm glad you had a good week. My week, I literally just got back. The girls and I went camping on Friday.
Yeah, how was that?
It was awesome. We literally, so like, and I'm glad that you saw that Discord. I was like, oh crap. I was like, I got at least, I was like, I think I might be like, we'll be back by like 3:00 or by 2:00. I mean. So, it was awesome though. We went out. So like, it was actually Utah that we went to. It was, oh my goodness, it was a state park. I want to say like Hollow Bay State Park or something like that. Only a 2-hour drive here from Vegas. And there's a huge lake out there. Yeah. Yeah, it's super close. And then you also go through Arizona on the way there too. So we actually stayed and camped in a first come, first serve, like camping park out there in Arizona. And then it was like maybe a 15-minute drive from where we stayed over to the state park. So we went over there yesterday, spent all day out there swimming. And I'm not going to lie, that water was absolutely freezing. I felt so bad. My daughter wanted to swim and I was like, I can't. I tried. I can't. And I'm not very good. I'm not a very strong swimmer. So like, I was like, I don't feel like I should do this. I feel like this is a bad idea. We tried fishing, didn't catch anything. But overall, it was a solid time. We got to get out in the nature. It was a little cooler I think, than it was here. Still hitting 100 at one point in time, though. So it's been so hot out here. It's crazy. So we'll see. But enough about us. Let's get into our first topic. And Pop, lay it on us. What is going on with PlayStation?
Yeah, so earlier this week, Sony, Sony Interactive announced that they would be rebranding the PlayStation Network branding. So there's going to be some visual changes on the horizon for PlayStation owners like ourselves and others out there who are probably listening in or watching. Sony is actually planning to retire the PlayStation Network and PSN branding. The change is expected to roll out across SIE or Sony Interactive Entertainment properties over the next year. It also appears to be a change aimed at unifying the branding across PlayStation and other SIE brands. So I guess they're going for a more uniformed look. So although the name itself may be phased out, fret not. This won't be like Xbox or anything where major changes are just going to go away or anything. So all of the features that we have and rely on, friends list, achievements, etc., are all going to be there. Nothing's going to be impacted or anything. The branding change could also mean that Sony is getting ready for a new visual shift across the PlayStation ecosystem as well. So instead of treating the online services as a separate brand, we could be seeing something being brought closer together under the PlayStation umbrella. I as someone who's had a PlayStation for so long, it feels very strange for it to be such of an end of the era. So in an internal email, Sony had laid out its branding plans to developers. And Sony stated that the update is strictly visual and will not introduce any technical changes. For players, our PlayStation experience will remain exactly the same, minus the visual changes. Sony specifically called out things like friends lists, online multiplayer trophies will function as they are. PSN and PlayStation Network terms will be completely phased out by September 2026. We don't know what that new visual branding is going to look like, but it's definitely it is a notable moment in PlayStation history, seeing the end of an era. So I mean, also I think they also just recently did an update for the PS3 or something like that. So it's I don't think they're letting go of the PlayStation era or that it's been completely forgotten, but we're definitely going to see some new name changes. What do you think about this visual rebrand for PSN and PlayStation? And how is that going to look? What are they going to do with the symbol, like the PS logo? Like what is going to happen? Am I going to have to get the new logo and stick it on my PS5? Like,
right? It's like, it makes sense. I feel. It does. I don't, and not necessarily the PlayStation logo, but like PSN, the PlayStation Network has always kind of felt a little muddy to me, as opposed to, you know what I mean? Like kind of, and don't get me wrong, Xbox had all the crazy tiers and stuff like that, but it always kind of felt like it was something that they just kind of put in on the side. I think this, will help to integrate it better into the PlayStation ecosystem as we get to more digital, streaming games and things of that nature. Kind of a weird time to do it, I feel, especially with, the next gen consoles coming here in the next few years. I would think that they would make that change along with that, not at kind of the end of a life cycle thing. I'm, and not only that, but it also makes me think too a little bit about, just how they are kind of pulling back a little bit on taking their first party games, letting them go out on PC like right away, or at least being more selective about that. So it feels like there's definitely a strategy in play that we're seeing playing out, but I still can't see what it is exactly that they're trying to accomplish with it. But it definitely feels like they're moving with purpose, and they are, basically leading up to something that I think will be big. And maybe this is just those like beginning pieces leading into that next generation. I don't know. I think this will be interesting to see what comes of this, because I think this is just a smaller piece of a bigger puzzle.
Yeah, it's very interesting that they are doing it now and not when, there's already talks of like the next gen coming. And part of it could be like they're probably preparing us before the next gen comes, so that way when they announce it, people aren't as put off for it. Kind of like one of those things where you're giving a baby some food and you wean them onto it, like you give them a little sample and they're like, this is okay, this is pretty good. And you give them some more, it's like, yeah, I like this. That's more or less what it seems like that they're doing. But yeah, I'm very curious about what they're going to do with the logos. Like the fact that PlayStation Plus, PlayStation Network, all this stuff is going to be rebranded and just going away into something else is it's going to be something. And as someone that likes a certain aesthetic, it better not be horrible.
Yeah, I think the other thing too that's kind of weird though is that you're saying, you said something about them wanting to kind of make it more cohesive. Am I understanding that correctly? Or just kind of like, what is it? I wonder what it is that they feel is kind of disconnecting the PlayStation Network from their brand.
Yeah, because like when I hear PlayStation, I think of Sony, and when I think of Sony, I think of PlayStation. So I don't really know what's going on there.
Yeah, and this is more. I'm sorry. Is it PlayStation, or they're gonna brand more towards Sony?
It's. I don't think they're straying away from the name PlayStation specifically, but in terms of like the UI branding, like PlayStation Network and PSN is what they're going away from. So I don't know. Maybe the console is still going to be called the PlayStation, and everything within it is going to be changed to reflect Sony.
Well, the other thing too is that they have, over the last couple of like hardware updates, they've been changing the UI of like the front page and stuff like that, making it more modular. And, I wonder if that has anything to do with it. And they're just kind of, it's not necessarily a like logo or design change, but more of a kind of ecosystem change and how we interact, with the PlayStation in whole. I'm curious to see what it is and what they got cooking, though. They definitely have piqued my interest in terms of that. Have they said, is there a date, or did you say that there's a date for this rollout?
It says everything will be done by September 2026. September of this year.
Okay. So they haven't specifically gotten, I wonder if they've got like phases of, what their rollout is.
I haven't seen any information on phasing for the rollout. Like it could be something as simple as we get a big update in September and it's just done, or it could be, we get something during quarter 2, we get something else during quarter 3, and then like right at the end of quarter 3 is when we get the rest of everything.
Right. It'll be interesting to see what they've got, what they've got cooking for that, and what kind of changes they have in store, especially if they are visual changes, because people will react strongly one way or the other. So this could be a fantastic thing, or this could just be, it could get messy. So that's a good one, though.
Yeah.
And then my topic, I had to talk about this when I saw it come down, and I know we talked about it here on the show before, but the ex-CEO of Subnautica 2 has been reinstated back on the game. Now, when we talked about it originally, Crafton and it's Unknown Worlds Entertainment is a developer, and then Crafton is the publisher. They picked it up, they started backing them, and then as they were going along the development, all of a sudden they fired the CEO and the like other executives and stuff like that. What's going on, Ryu? And basically the CEO, the previous CEO, Ted Gill, and some executives, they started leaking things being like, look, they don't want to, they basically fired us because we had like a bonus and they didn't want to pay out that bonus. They kind of went back and forth here and there. Nothing came of it. All of a sudden, here last week, a judge ordered publisher Crafton to rehire developer Unknown Worlds Entertainment CEO Ted Gill, who, like I said, it was last summer, was fired. And then basically the dude that they replaced Ted with, Steve Papatis. I can't say it. Let's just call him Steve. He was put in charge as CEO of Unknown Worlds. There, he actually got let go when they had to reinstate Ted Gill. So this thing has gotten pretty messy, but it gets even messier because Ted Gill is not happy because they just announced here before Steve left that they're going to be doing an early access for Subnautica 2 here. I think it's either this month or next month. I'm trying to find it real quick, but I'm having trouble here. Regardless, he is upset about that because, again, this was part of that issue where, you know, it sounded like Crafton was trying to push Subnautica 2 out well before it was ready. They were Unknown Worlds were trying to push back and being like, look, dude, like this thing isn't ready. We need more time, blah, blah, blah. That's where things got kind of messy and whatnot. Zuzu. So this dude's salty. He's back in charge. This is a weird one. I've never, number one, the fact that a judge reinstated the CEO means they found something. Enough for a judge to be like, pump the brakes. This dude is unfired. He's actually the CEO again. That seems absolutely crazy to me. Not only that, but I imagine too, the development of this game is probably taking a hit between, you know, just the back and forth between Craft and all these legal battles and whatnot, which is unfortunate because, and again, I've never played Subnautica, but I've heard nothing but great things. People are really, really anticipating this. This is going to have co-op, I believe, as well. So what are your thoughts on this? Did you play the first one? Like, why is this so messy? What the hell is going on? Like, what?
Do you know how bad the evidence had to have been for the judge to get so strongly involved? Like, I feel like I saw something else where one article was like they admitted to like deleting evidence, and another one was like they used ChatGPT to make up a bunch of reasons to fire him. I'm like, what is happening? Why does this sound like some kind of like obscure television series with a very interesting plot, mind you, where something this wild is happening, right? Like, what is happening?
The fact that they even thought that they can get away with something like that, though, is mind-boggling to me because clearly they could see that him and the executives were not going to go quietly into the night. They immediately pushed back on that stuff, and clearly, you know, a judge found that, like, you guys did this. This wasn't it. You guys cannot do that. So I wonder if there's going to be what other kind of the fact that they had to do that. I imagine there's going to be other repercussions as well. But I just wanted to. So they're also salty because so I just want to read a little bit here. So after the Game File published its report, Gill's lawyers submitted a motion to the judge expressing their consternation over the May launch announcement. Game File reported an update. They also called upon the judge to order Krafton to explain its actions and why it shouldn't be sanctioned, writing Krafton's actions have undermined the relief sought in this expedited phase of the litigation, in which the founder spent 9 months and millions of dollars fighting to restore their bargain for right to determine when and how the game would launch. So this is still that is huge. So Krafton, it sounds like Krafton is trying to strong arm them, push out this game as quickly as possible, and the folks over at Unknown Worlds is like, pump the brakes. That's not the bargain was that they got to choose that. And I remember that being a thing when they were first bought. We're keeping creative rights. Things are going to be cool. Don't even worry. This is going to be a great thing. And all of a sudden Krafton was like, oh, hold my beer. I got something for you.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And then I believe Gil also mentioned that they were still giving him a hard time by defying the judge's orders. Like what is happening behind the scenes? Like, are you fighting a bunch of like AI bots? Like, what is happening?
It doesn't make sense. I feel bad too, because number one of the biggest groups of people that are gonna, feel this is going to be the gamers and the folks that are waiting and hoping for a good game. It sounds like Unknown Worlds is trying to deliver a good game, and Krafton is just trying to get them to push this thing out so they can cash in on their investment or cash in on whatever they've thrown in and walk away or whatever. But like, it shouldn't be this messy. Not only that, but like, what really sucks too is that Unknown Worlds went in thinking that Krafton had good intentions. And this is the ugly side of when somebody really doesn't have good intentions. And they're like, look, we're about them dollar bills. Sorry, you guys didn't realize what we were trying to do here, but you need to get out because we're also not trying to pay you. You're like, what? This is crazy. And there should be sanctions and stuff.
What sucks about it all is that as the CEO, if, God forbid, if the launch date is changed or if something goes wrong, he's going to be the one that catches the flack for it.
Mm-hmm.
And this is for something that isn't even his fault because he was let go of last summer?
Last summer, yeah.
Yeah, so it is pretty terrible. I would hate to be in a situation where, this company, so a company buys the company that I'm over and, and everything seems cool. It seems good, chill. And then suddenly everything goes wrong. And as things go wrong, I am completely shut out from the company that I was running by the company I'm supposed to be under and collaborating with. And I had to bring it to the courts and they still want to try and defy the court order. That's gotta be mentally taxing.
I would be so upset. Like, seriously, like, I bet they were freaking. Not only that, but like, think about the money alone just to fight it.
All the money, all that money that they're wasting to fight it. Like, please, can we not?
Yeah, and
because not only are they wasting company money, they're wasting tax dollars because tax dollars pay to run the court system. But that's a talk for a different day.
It's like, come on. Yeah, no, there needs to be some sort of recoup because, again, for them to be, or at least the CEO to be reinstated, and they're still trying to push this. I believe it's a May launch for the game. And, he's like, 36 hours in, and they're over here re-pushing out to journalists, yes, May launch, we're going. And like, you know, Ted's like, I haven't even gotten back in to see what they've been doing. I got to see what's happening, you know? So, you know, the other thing too is, will Ted be able to get, you know, his people back in as well? Because it wasn't just him that was let
some
go.
Other people, some other people got laid off as well. Like and the fact that they all stayed silent, I mean, they kind of had to, but the fact that none of them like whistleblowed about how they got let go.
Right.
That couldn't have been me. I would have snitched immediately. Like, they did it. It's their fault. They told us everything would be fine.
Yeah.
As they sent me out the room with my bags.
Yeah. They're like, yep, everything is going to be fine. Have a good one.
Right.
Terrible. That is absolutely terrible. And again, maybe they spoke and they're like, you know what? Ted's going to handle it for all of us. Let Ted do the push. We just sit back silent, let the courts and all that stuff play out. And clearly, I think this is kind of just a peak, not the end of this story, because again, the game's not out yet. We will see. Right now, it's slated for a May launch, but I have a feeling, that it's not going to happen, and probably rightfully so, because they're going to want to get back in their vision of what the game was supposed to be and all that stuff. You know, there's been a ton of, we're talking 9 months of development that has happened from where they left off. So I don't know that the game even comes out this year, but we'll see. Maybe they're like, all right.
I wouldn't be surprised if early access is held and then extended, and then they're like, we have to delay the release due to this whole. I mean, it's pretty much public what's going on.
Why? You know why.
Like, due to internal disputes. I don't know how they're going to do it. Hopefully hopefully it's the actual devs that write the letter and not freaking Crafton, since they want to chat GPT everything.
That's so crazy.
And don't get me wrong, I'm not anti-AI use, but some people lack the critical thinking and skills needed to use AI to supplement instead of AI to
do.
I don't know. This it's like cheating. AI to cheat. Like, it's very different if I'm like, oh, I have to run all these different codes and glitches in this game. Use AI to do that versus AI be like, yeah, can you build me that? No, we don't do that.
Especially something like that deals with the legal matter, that deals with jobs and things like that. To play around with a game like that is
AI to build a case to fire the man. Like, what in the world was your prompt in order to falsify so much information that a judge goes, no, bring him back. This is illegal. Bring him back.
It's insane.
And I hope all of the people that got laid off under him, along with their falsified AI reasonings for laying them off or firing them, get some kind of settlement out of this.
Well, they should be reinstated as well.
Yeah, they need to be
there should be 9 months of back pay for all the time that they missed. I forgot
what it's called when
they should be paying all the legal fees and all that
because
stuff
it affects. Yeah, it affects your cost of living and everything. There's a specific term for that, but I hope they are paid for that and compensated for that, for the 9 months that they've gone without that.
Yeah, it is. It's unfortunate that they, had to go through that stuff and do that. But I'm glad, at least they were able to get a resolution that was favorable. They're able to show people we were not playing around, y'all. We weren't lying. These fools are over here playing around. They didn't want to play by the rules. Thought we had an agreement. Now we gotta go through the legal system. And now it shows that Crafton is just on some scumbaggery. And they're still playing games with them, which is even crazier. The fact that they're still trying to push it out. Because I imagine that you can't, you just can't, especially with the legal like the league, that the fact that it's still going on and whatnot, there's going to be like some sort of like some way of blocking them, I'd imagine, from trying to release it and until the stuff is resolved. In the meantime, who knows how much work actually gets done on it? Again, is there going to be another changing of the guard and people being reinstated? And then that means the people that were brought in, again, these people had nothing to do with this. They were, put onto a job. Now all of a sudden they're losing jobs. You know what I mean? Like it just, no matter how it shakes out, it's just an ugly, ugly mess that really just shouldn't have happened.
Shout outs to everyone who got laid off and didn't crash. They are better than me. I would have crashed out. I would have crashed out.
Facts. Not only that, but there's also like revenue incentives and stuff like that. So if anything, I feel like Crafton it made this project way more expensive for themselves than they needed to. Try to find a way to slither their ways out of it and then only cause themselves more problems.
Yeah, Crafton is definitely turning into being something along the lines of Crafton.
That's
as
unfortunate.
The rename. Yeah.
I can't.
People are going to rename
Crafton?
it.
They didn't get gobbled up. Crafton did PUBG, right?
Yes.
But that was under the original. That wasn't under like Ted and stuff like that, was it?
Yeah, no, they're not. I don't think they're under anyone. I know that Tencent kind of holds a big stake in them. I don't think they're under. I don't believe they're under a studio. I think it's kind of like Epic with Disney, where Disney owns a big stake with Epic, but Disney doesn't own Epic Games.
Right. Yeah, I was like, I knew there was some other player in there as well, but I couldn't remember who it was. But like, that that is unfortunate that happened. But again, I think this is a good thing for gamers, because the OGs hopefully will be put back on. They'll be able to get their vision and everything going like they had planned, and we'll get, they'll steer things back the way that they were hoping for. But, again, too, who knows the work that happened over the last 9 months. So maybe it doesn't all have to be redone or whatever. Again, once Ted and them get in there and they start looking at it, I'm sure they'll be able to make a better assessment and then give us a real timeline of when the game should be coming out.
Yeah, I would hope that the minute early access is started, that they then go on to give us the timeline for the release and then explain. They probably don't have to explain why, since, this has made gaming news. Pretty sure a lot of folks are talking about it. Given the fact that a judge told them to, hey, put these people back in their jobs. But yeah, hopefully that transparency is given so we know when the release date is, and hopefully people don't get too rude about the release date being pushed back. Like, I know y'all have been waiting on this, but people have to get paid. This takes priority, especially since it was like 250 mil that hasn't been paid to them yet.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And
I'd be set for life with 250 mil. You mean to tell me you're not paying the bonus? Nah.
Yeah. And like, that was things that they were working towards and whatnot. It was just scummy how they did it and how they went about it. Their biggest mistake was involving, obviously, firing people and getting the legal system involved, because like, no way, and they called it immediately. Like, look, dude, they just don't want to pay us our bonus. And it was like, ooh. I was like, oh. Kind of died out, and all of a sudden they're like, nah, son, this is the CEO. What are you doing? You can't do what you did. That's illegal. So we'll see if there's sanctions or anything like that placed on Crafton as well. I do feel that there should be some sort of punishment, if anything, to deter other companies from trying shenanigans like this. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure shenanigans like this have happened before. But come on, buddy. You don't think people are going to be able to spot some GPT? Come on now. The audacity. The audacity.
Something else.
It really is. Did you have anything else that you want to quickly talk about? I know we're running a little short on time here.
Nothing that I can think of that out of something that was super major outside of, I don't know, a judge doing that in PlayStation. Being like, yeah, we're going to give the online stuff a makeover.
I did want to quickly bring up that there was a Minecraft Live that happened, and they did announce Minecraft Dungeons 2. I played a little bit of Dungeons. I liked it. I didn't feel like it got as much, and maybe it was just from me. I didn't feel like it got a lot of popularity, or a lot of people played, but people probably did. I tried to get my daughter to play it. She wasn't really feeling it, even though she likes Minecraft. I thought it was cool because it was actually like a story-based thing, and you had to like do things as opposed to just building and whatnot. But the fact that I felt like this kind of came out of nowhere, and all of a sudden they're like, "Look, we got this going. It's coming out sometime this year. We still don't know when exactly it'll be coming out." But are you familiar with Dungeons at all?
Yeah, I've played Dungeons.
Okay,
it was good. It was quick. It was more like an art. It really gave like an ARPG, just in the flavor of Minecraft. I play with my brother, and it did a really good scratch to the dungeon crawler itch. For when the first one came out, it was dungeon crawler season, and that's when so a lot of the games I was playing was dungeon crawlers, and I saw it. I'm like, yeah, I need a new dungeon crawler. I enjoyed it. I know it may not be everyone's cup of tea doing dungeon crawlers, but it was quick. It was fun. Didn't take up too much time. Second one will probably be just as short, maybe a little bit longer. I don't know. I don't expect it to take a lot of time to complete, though.
I love to hear that, because that makes me want to go and run through the first one to play this, or maybe I run through, because my daughter's a little older too, so I think she's really getting into RPG. She's actually playing Undertale right now. She realized, I told her, I was like, yes, I was like, it's on PlayStation Network for free. So she started it up. She's absolutely loving it. So I think this would be one that her and I could jump back into, maybe run through that first one and play this. I love the fact that it's quick too, and like, it's Minecraft. People, again, I'm not a big Minecraft guy, but I know that she enjoys it. So yeah,
it was a good game. If you have 5 to 6 hours to spare,
oh yeah,
definitely, maybe even shorter than that. I know it took my brother and I about that amount of time, because we just went on the hardest. We played it and it was just like, it's a little too easy, so we just went on the hardest difficulty and we were fine.
Okay. No, that's good to know. Yeah, and I love that. We could burn through this easily. So I just wanted to bring that up. I thought I had happened to see that, and I was like, that's pretty dope. I remember kind of playing a little bit, or watching my daughter play a little bit of the first one, but I was like, I thought it was cool. It's always nice seeing new Minecraft stuff. So I'm not gonna lie, I cannot remember what the SIG out is, but that will do it for episode 297. Again, Pop, I appreciate you being here. All of you guys out there, don't forget, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Check out the main website, comfreaksandgeeks.com. And we will see you guys next time.